What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So as you all know, today is indeed going to be Wednesday, which means a new summit is now live here at Motorfest. With that is going to be the Crazy Vacation, giving us an old Crew 2 Vanity. We're also then going to have the Chevrolet Silverado 1500 as well. But one thing I did want to point out, though, is the next summit is going to be the Ferrari, which, as you guys can see here, is the SF90. But the insane part is, though, this one is going to be 9 events. Yeah, there is no skills in this. So, that is probably going to be a fairly interesting one, if I gotta admit that. But besides that, though, we all do know this is going to be the oddball summit here, going to have 8 skills in it and 1 event. I gotta admit, it's probably going to be insanely straightforward. All you guys basically have to do on basically 85% of these skills is to run a score breaker, and that is literally it. For example, the slalom here with a power boat, throw on a score breaker, guys. You don't even have to think when you're doing it. Similar to a long jump as well. For some odd reason, a score breaker does help it. I started off, got 1,494 yards, and basically got a maxed out score. Kind of hilarious how easy it's going to be. Same with the Bullseye here on this one. You basically start off on the ground, then you end up switching to a plane, then go back to a ground vehicle. That is basically it. Running a score breaker set again, guys, is going to make the buoy smashing basically brainless. All you have to go in there and pretty much go in a circle, hit every single buoy, and that is pretty much it again. For the low altitude for this one, I basically started off, kind of went toward the mountain where the fog was and followed that all the way until I couldn't go anymore. Got almost a maxed out score again. For the long jump here at the Brutale, I probably did not say that right, but the Dragster is going to be the bike from the Crew 2. What I did was I basically turned around a bit, went toward the jump, and then from there I basically hit my nitrous. I got 1,999 yards. I gotta admit, it really wasn't all that difficult. Very similar to the other Bullseye here. Once again, you really don't have to do all that much. Funny part is, guys, on this one, you actually don't have to use 2 different vehicles. I would recommend pulling out the KTM 450. Again, use a score breaker, and you're going to get this one done without having to switch vehicles. It is going to make it a lot more simple, to be honest. For the Speedtrap here, though, for some odd reason, I don't know why they don't test anything in this game, but this one is going to be broken. You can indeed use a car in it. I really don't know why it's like that when it does say a plane, but you could somehow use a drag car. To be honest, I did end up just running this one in a plane. I really don't see a point of going in there and trying to use like a car or something like that. I'm happy with having 145,000 points. Honestly, not that big of a deal. For the jet event, though, it's going to be very straightforward. It is going to be the Maui Expedition event. For this, you pretty much go as fast as you can. Obviously, it's going to be a fair level jet. With this, I was noticing keeping the nose down and also trying not to like keep the nose up is going to make your plane a bit faster. Got 4 minutes and 46 seconds. I probably could go in and get a tad faster on this one, but I gotta admit, guys, I don't really see a point of doing that. I'm not going to lie. The other part I did also want to mention as well, though, is this jet event here in the game really does show something that I feel like Ivory Tower is going to be very lazy when it does come to like adding different races to the game, because this is going to be a clear sign that we can easily have longer jet events or even plane events, like something like the Maui Tour that's going to be a bit longer or something like that, like it is going to be there, but yet we're not going to have any of the races. It's honestly kind of frustrating because it really would help with the variety. Having an actual new jet in the game and having more events like this would honestly be pretty dope. But at the moment, I really don't see more of that happening. Do let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below. Besides all of that, here is all 8 skills and the jet race.